How's it going, YouTube? This is Skul, and welcome to this video that I have for you guys. So, what I have here on the table in front of me are all of my game pickups from the month of August 2017. And I got the idea to make this video because I was just up last night doing my usual thing, watching YouTube, trying to get to sleep, and I found myself watching all sorts of people showing what they had picked up in the month before for their game collections. I love watching live pickups, especially people who have hidden cameras. They go to garage sales and yard sales and are able to snag, you know, stuff like a complete NES collection with like 20 games and the console for 50 bucks. I love seeing stuff like that, but I found myself more and more drawn to just people showing what they had gotten off camera just throughout the month and then recapping it at the end of the month. So I thought I would try to do that for August of this year and show you all the stuff that I've gotten. And this isn't even everything. As you guys remember, I did my $100 challenge where I picked up, I think, a total of 25 N64 slash Atari 2600 games, plus an Intellivision game that I got thrown in there. So this video will not include that, but if I do this in the future, I will show you what I get for my N64 games, because that is my priority in collecting, is to get a complete N64 collection. So I get new games every single month for that, and I figured that doing a monthly pickups video will be a whole lot easier than just showing pictures on Twitter and having you guess what it all is, or the story behind it, or doing, especially in the case of the Nintendo Switch, just showing an update video of what a complete collection looks like every 3 or 6 months. So I figured doing a monthly pickups video will be a whole lot of fun for me. It might be a whole lot of fun for you. And if you want to see more pickups videos in the future, be sure to let me know in the comments section. So, with all that being said, this is, aside from what I did in my $100 challenge, and also my Pokemon Green video, but I already did a whole dedicated video to that, this is what I got in the month of August 2017. Let's go ahead and acknowledge the elephant in the room. Let me move some stuff here to compensate, but I did get Sonic Mania, the Collector's Edition. This is for the Switch, but it is also for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. I just got the Switch version because I wanted it on the Switch. It comes with this Sonic statue on top of a Genesis / Mega Drive hybrid. This is on prominent display in my game room. Just the statue sitting on top of the box. The box still has extra stuff in it. I'm just not going to go ahead and show it off right now. If you want to see what all's in that box, you can easily Google it or look up a video on YouTube. Long story short, I got this. I'm very happy with it. It's awesome. Sonic Mania is an insanely fun game. I've been playing it on my Switch practically non-stop ever since I got it. I'm kind of stuck in the Hydro Zone, but I'm sure I can get past it. So, this is just an insanely fun game, and I'm so happy to have this Collector's Edition. Having a little extra something physical, tangible in my game room to show how much I love games is really nice. If you saw my game room tour, you'll see there's not a lot of stuff on the walls or on display that actually shows off just, you know, the games part of it. This is more of a man cave that I'm in, more than a dedicated game room, and this helps to lean that in the right direction. So anyway, speaking of the Switch, I did go ahead and pick up a second Switch dock. This one I have hooked up already to my TV. This is just an empty box, but I like keeping the boxes. So I got a second dock. This cost, I think, 80 bucks off eBay. It was a lot cheaper than they usually go for. But I got this for one reason and one reason only. Make it easier for us to do Switch Sundays with Skul and Saturday. If you watch that series, then you'll see that we're on my couch in front of my TV, whereas usually my Switch is hooked up to my computer. But the great thing about the Switch is no Switch is tied to any particular dock. Any Switch in the world will hook up to any other dock in the world. So if you want to be able to play your Switch on multiple TVs or computers in your house, then just get an extra dock and voila. And I gotta say, it works tremendously. It does make setting it for recording a whole lot easier. The first time we did it, I believe we did man, what was the game? Disgaea 5 Complete, and I had to completely unhook my dock from my computer, move it over to my TV, record it, and then move it back to my computer, because the next day I recorded Splatoon 2 with my friends. Just having a dock permanently attached to the TV, it made the setup so much easier, so that's why I picked that up. Let's continue on with the trend of the Nintendo Switch. I did get the 4 physical games that were released this month. Call it the calm before the storm, because between September and October of this year, there's going to be 32 games released, and that's just what's been announced so far. Yeah. So I believe this brings up the total Switch library to 27, which means it's going to more than double in the next 2 months. In fact, the day this video goes out, there's going to be 2 new Switch games that are released, RBI Baseball and LEGO Worlds. The last time that we had more than 1 game released on the same day was launch day itself. That should tell you how fast the pace is going to pick up for the Nintendo Switch. But anyway, let's go ahead and show off the games. I got Troll and I. This is considered the worst game on the Switch. I do not recommend you get it. I just need it for the complete collection. Minecraft Story Mode. Haven't played it yet. I need to. This does contain every single chapter. Includes episodes 1 to 8 right there on the cartridge, so you don't need to worry about extra downloading. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. You know, what's there to say about this that hasn't been said already? Of any of the games released this month, this is the one that I recommend the most. And finally, we got Monster Hunter Double Cross, which is a Japanese exclusive. Capcom has stated they have no intentions of porting this to the United States. Could receive a port someday, but if it does, I'm guessing not for a year or 2, but I'm genuinely thinking it never will, so I went ahead and imported that. This was supposed to be here about a week before it actually arrived, but I got hit by Hurricane Harvey. And for anyone who's wondering, I live in a place that people evacuate to. So even though I got rained on a lot, there was never a danger of flooding, there was never a danger of wind damage, I was perfectly fine. So don't worry about me. But that does mean I was delayed in getting Monster Hunter Double Cross until about a week later, because it was stuck in customs in Cincinnati, of all places, and it just couldn't get down to Houston to transfer to me because, of course, all the Houston airports were shut down. And then when it was finally open again, it came through DHL. They didn't even bother knocking at my door. They left a note saying I wasn't at home, we'll try again later, and I was pretty upset about that because I was home. I was in the living room right there by my driveway to make sure that I heard the door whenever they knocked. At one point, I glanced out just in time to see them pull away, left the note on my door. I'm sure they left the note on my door before, I'm sure the note was written before they even pulled into my driveway. Long story short, I ranted about it on Twitter, and I guess because I'm kind of big there, like 5,000 followers, it's not as big as other people, but it's still enough to get noticed. They contacted the driver, told him to turn around, and they delivered this on the last day of the month. So, I have a complete collection now. And I have 2 games to pick up the day this comes out. So, man, it's going to be hard to keep on top of the Switch game, but I'm in it to win it. It's not a game, but it's not a game that there's a prize or anything for coming out on top, but I love collecting for the Switch. I love all the games on the Switch, so that's why I do that. Moving on, I picked up this Diamond and Pearl themed, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl themed DS Lite. It works in everything. The only problem is a few of the pixels on the top screen are dead. I don't know if there's a way to fix that or not, but I got it for, I think, 25 bucks on eBay. Insanely good deal for a limited edition Pokemon console. I'm going to slowly start collecting handheld console variants. There's tons of them. Just to give you an idea, there's 85 different 3DSs. Between all the 3DSs, XLs, News, 2DSs, 2DS XLs, all that. Anything in the 3DS family, there's 85 variants. Think about that. And so I figure, you know, may as well go after one that I like the look of and it's cheap. I'm never going to play this. Whenever I want to play a DS game, I'll play it on my 3DS. But for a console variant, 25 bucks, what can go wrong? These 2 games are kind of an interesting story. My brother used to play games a lot. In fact, I think he played games more than I did at one point. And he got a lot of shovelware games from Gamestop. What he did was he left me as many of his games and cases as he could find. And unfortunately, for most of the DS games and 3DS games, he had the cases only and he couldn't find the games. I'm sure he sold them back to GameStop. But what he did was he gave me the cases for a few games, and I went ahead and just got these games off eBay because they're insanely cheap. I think they were $1 each, no joke. So, the first one is Clubhouse Games for the DS, and the second one is Brainage 2 for the DS, or Brain Age 2. I've heard Brainage more than Brain Age, so I really don't know. But I have the cartridges for those now. They are inside. The manuals were already inside the cases, so, you know, $1 to complete those. That was good. And I also picked up this oddity because I just happened upon it on an eBay listing. I'm like, what the hey is that? I did some research, and it's so obscure on Bulbapedia, you have to go through like 3 different templates before you find a reference to this. I don't remember what exactly this is called, but it translates to something like Pokemon Card Game Let's Learn to Play DS, something like that. Basically, this was released in Japan only in 2010, right around the time of Black and White. You can see all the starters there. I love Samurot's pose. So, this taught you how to play the card game. Luckily, since I already know how to play the card game, especially the Black and White cards, this I can play pretty easily without a translation. According to Bulbapedia, you could theoretically play through this entire game in 30 minutes to an hour. That's it. So this is one of those Pokemon games that never got released over here. I mean, probably didn't even get, it probably didn't even think of getting a release over here. So I picked it up. I'm eventually going for a complete physical Pokemon game collection, including may as well get this. I just thought that was hilarious. I picked it up and thought, you know what, why not? Anyway, moving on. I'm going to save the best for last. So I'm going to go ahead and just show a few things here. First of all, I got Excel World vs. Sword Art Online. I'm a little miffed at this. They didn't physically release this over here in the States. This is the English version from Britain. I love Sword Art Online, as many of you know. I know it has its problems. I don't care. I love the show. So, I picked up this game. I have played it quite a bit, actually. It's, I have to give it a mixed review in all honesty, but it's still Sword Art Online. I'm very happy I got it. I was able to import it from PlayAsia, so that's one great thing about PlayAsia, people. You may not know this, but you can buy a game from any region of the world and ship it to any other region. So here, I have a European Excel World versus SAO. I shipped it to America. PlayAsia does not only specialize in Asian games, remember that. So that was only the 3rd PlayStation 4 game that I put in my collection. Before August, I had 2 PS4 games altogether. Based off of what all I picked up this month, I have 8. I'm not going after a PS4 collection, at least not right now, maybe I will later. It's just all these games I just happen to get for one reason or another throughout the month, and it'll probably keep being that way forever. So then these next 3 games are kind of special. If any of you have ever heard of limited run games, then you probably can guess what these are. If you haven't, I'll put it this way. They're a company that takes games that are usually only released digitally on a console's online store, and they put them onto a disc for you to buy if you like to collect physical media. Great in concept. Unfortunately, for most of their stuff, they're not swiped up by people who play the games. They're swiped up by collectors and scalpers. I play these games, so I'm the minority. I ended up getting, I think actually 5 or 6 limited run games last month, but only 3 arrived before the end of the month, so these are what count. The very first one I got, Drive. When I decided I wanted to start getting these, this was the one that was up that Friday. It was up for hours, so I figured, why not? Drive. I got Oceanhorn Monster of the Uncharted Seas. I already have this on the Switch. FDG Entertainment, which created this, game, sent me a copy on the Switch for review purposes. And I figure as a repayment, and because also I did play the game and I loved it, so I know for a fact I'll like it, I went ahead and bought it on physical for PS4 as well. And I only got these for PS4, I need to make clear. I did not get them for Vita, which is another option, probably the better option in the long term, but I have a PS4, I love my PS4, and this is what I decided to do. And the final one. This is going to make a lot of people upset who know anything about this. I got 9 Trout. So, the story with this is, I believe this sold out on their website in 2 hours. Or, I'm sorry, 2 minutes. Minutes. As in 120 seconds. And I got one. This is not the collector's edition, this is just the standard edition, but that's perfectly fine with me. I'm very happy with this. Ironically, this is the biggest limited run they've ever had. I think between this and the collector's edition and the PC version, there's like 8,000 to 10,000 copies in the world. And it's still sold out in record time. Because this is a cult classic. This is not for you kids. This is literally the reason why we have a rating system. Because when this came out, games did not have ratings, and a lot of kids played this, and it was not good for them. This is, to clarify, this was originally released on the Sega CD in the early 90s. This, on the PS4, is a re-release of it. It's a special 25th anniversary edition, something like that. That's one thing about these games. Sometimes the disc doesn't sit in there properly. There we go. So I'm very thrilled to have this. If for any other reason than it's a cult classic, and I just wanted it for the cover alone. I mean, it's a red cover. It screams nostalgia to me. I didn't actually know much about this game when it came out. I only learned mostly about it within the last few years. But that's my LRG collection for right now. I have plenty more that are already ordered, and I'm sure I'm going to invest in more later. I especially want the 2 Shantae games. Unfortunately, they're like 120 bucks each. It is what it is. Speaking of limited runs of games, this is not an LRG game, but it does have a limited physical run straight through the company's website. This is Guacamelee. This is a pretty popular game. I've never actually played it. Now I have it physically, so I have a reason to. In particular, this is the Super Turbo Championship Edition. It was just pointed out to me on one of the Discord groups I belong to for the Switch collectors that this was online and it is a limited physical run, and I thought, you know what, why not? Technically I have 4 limited PS4 games right now, out of 8 total. Like I said, I'm not going for a PS4 collection right now, but this will definitely help if I choose to in the future. We'll see. That's a pretty big rabbit hole to dive into, unfortunately. So here we go to the last pickups that I had. As many of you know, I went to South Carolina in mid-month to watch the solar eclipse. While we were there, we stopped by a Gamestop in Aiken, of all places, and I got these things. And pretty awesome stuff, I've got to say. I got a Tracer Pop, which I know is not a game, but it's from a game, and I wanted this ever since I knew it existed. This was the very first time I'd ever seen one. Not only that, it was on clearance. I got this for $7. I'm happy. This is the only non-Frozen, non-Zootopia Pop I have, but I'm happy with that. I also got Destiny on PS4. I've heard plenty of people telling me to play it, and it was $5 in the used bin, so I went ahead and got it. They even gave me this nice Legendary Edition cover to make it a little more interesting for me. I don't care about cover variants, but this one looks very nice. And then the last one, I'm going to call this my pickup of the month, because I'm so happy with this. This was $5. You're going to love this. Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. Does that show off well? I think that shows off well. Now here's the thing with this. This is a promotional display only box. Yeah. This is the cover that they used when they put the game on GameStop shelves. When they were promoting the game for when it first came out. This was not supposed to be one of those that that was supposed to be sold to the public. I have no idea how rare it is, but I got the game and this not for resale display cover for $5. Metroid games are going to skyrocket in price when Prime 4 comes out, so if you ever see any games, get them now. It does not have the manual, and also, I found out this is a PlayStation 2 case. Not only that, it's going to be really hard to see, but you see at the top left corner? That's a little symbol, that's a little sticker that says Hockey Rules NHL. For some reason, Gamestop put a display cover for a Wii game inside a PlayStation 2 hockey case. I don't get it very much, but it is what it is. I'm happy with this. Eventually I'm going to probably get another Wii case and switch the cover and the disc into that, and try and track down what game this case originally housed. That's part of the reason why I collect physical games. You're always going to come across something like this, and you think, how did all of these 3 or 4 different things come together into this, which is now in my possession? That's part of the fun of collecting, is thinking of the history of stuff before it reached my hands. So I'm sorry I went long on this. I just love explaining how I got everything. But that pretty much does it for this video. If you enjoyed, please let me know. Leave a like and a comment letting me know that you want to see more. And let me know which of these you think was the best pickup of the month. And yeah, I appreciate all of you guys' support on the channel. Now, if you excuse me, I have LEGO Worlds and RBI Baseball to pick up. Thanks, Nintendo. Hi everyone, this is Skul. If you liked the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. If you're already subscribed, hit that little bell so you get notifications whenever I upload a new video. That does it for now. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.